Good morning, Deb Peterson.
Good morning, McGraw. You're the finely tuned machine that you are there at the
Appreciate that.
station, huh?
First of all, how was what'd you go to, a wedding? Did you go to a wedding?
My son's wedding.
Your son's,
Not just a wedding. My first child to be married. It was wonderful.
Did you cry?
In California.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. I was happy for them. They're a lovely couple. It was a beautiful wedding. It was really fun.
All right. I failed. I tried to talk him out of it, but there's only so much I can do.
Yeah, they took bets. There was an over-under on whether I would cry, and my son lost. I think he was like 2.5 over. I was like, really, no. I mean, you kind of have all your feelings up to that point, but when all was said and done, I was just delighted.
Well, good
for
you.
Lovely family. Anyway, yes, it was great. And I wanted to say, Johnny Londoff wished me a happy birthday, but did McGraw Millhaven? No. You are kind of not with the program there.
Wait a minute. I didn't want anyone to know it was your birthday. I thought that was a very private thing.
I'm not embarrassed about it being my birthday.
Oh, all right.
No, my birthday was Tuesday, August the 13th, the day I share with, Alfred Hitchcock, long dead, Fidel Castro, and Annie Oakley.
Annie Oakley. There you go. All right. And what, we turned 35?
Yeah, no, 29.
29.
Yeah. Thank you for observing.
God
and
love you.
If Johnny can, thank you, Johnny. By the way, I like Johnny.
Johnny Londoff.
So even though I was in La Jolla, California, quite the beauty spot where they are having their own problems with the mayor of San Diego, I still kept up with the news in St. Louis.
Well, you did you watch the news on your hometown newspaper, stltoday.com?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. And I watched a few videos on KTRS.
What'd you think?
Oh, I think it's outstanding. What do I think of that's going on with the news?
Well, let's start with some of this news. First of all, your newspaper deserves a little feather in its cap for bringing up this whole crime lab problem.
I think that the Dooley administration is kind of in a shambles. I think that things, the $29.5 million that Gary Earls asked for an increase to build the Justice Center, to me was a travesty. That was some months ago, and I wrote about that. And they were so arrogant in their assumption that, they needed this and it's fine and it doesn't matter if that's not what the council had approved and that's not what they put before voters, and not what the council approved, but that's not what they put before voters. And then here they are doing the exact same thing. Something doesn't really smell good over there. And it's been broken. I think a number of reporters have been working on this, but they've done, I thought, a great job.
Yeah, well, how about the fact that Dooley says about Fitch, hey, you should have come to us? Well, he went to the county councilor, and she said there wasn't a conflict. So
exactly. So why would you go back to that well when
right.
you think there's a problem and you're a chief of police and you're not going to get some satisfaction? I think you do exactly what he did.
And then
the FBI.
Then the latest.
And now they're trying to derail the investigation. They're trying to find out all kinds of things about it. That's inappropriate.
Well,
isn't it?
You can't have one of the mayor's people or the Dooley's people.
Executives people.
Start sniffing. Hey, I need to talk to you. What are you telling the FBI?
Exactly. I mean, is that kind of a? It's it is. And that person who's doing that is Gary Earls, who is the chief engineer for the county. It doesn't really make sense. I think he's chief of operations, but he is an engineer.
Right.
And for him to be, asking what's going on, and then for Dooley to say it's okay, and Dooley has so many other conflicts. They've had a lot of conflicts on the board of the Children's Service Fund. He's appointed friends to that. There are several others that I can't point to off the top of my head, but we had a great editorial about it. I saw at the end of the week when I was gone, and outlined many of them. And he's just making, I think, quite a few missteps and is going to lose public confidence.
Well, here's what I want to know: where is Koster, and where is McCullough? I mean, you've got some serious allegations going on around here. Where's law enforcement stepping in?
The feds are there, so maybe those guys back off.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It seems that, in other cities, if there's really, or counties, I think of Chicago's one, they usually have an independent prosecutor or the state's attorney. Somebody else kind of comes in and does it. And I do think that in St. Louis, nobody ever gets charged. I mean, no big names ever on anything. And I can't believe that that's not by, I don't think that's by chance. I mean, I think, this crime lab thing is ugly. And if Sansone, I don't know, it's a $3 million contract, that to me seems, and then for them to blatantly stand, for Dooley to say, well, there's no conflict, for Pat Redding to say, oh, there's no problem with that. It says as clear as can be in the charter that you can't have that kind of a situation.
Well, that's the same thing as last summer with that Kathy Burkett and that fee office. She's
exactly.
She's a sitting county councilwoman. How could she get a fee office?
It's almost as though they think they're above the, well, not almost. They do seem to think they're above the law. And I think that, I hope the voters are paying attention and say, you know what, this doesn't smell right.
The other thing is that Kathy Burkett would never answer any of those questions. And Nixon never answered any of those questions. Well, how can this woman who has declared bankruptcy get the best financial score and then get the fee office? So the whole thing
get a total pass on everything.
Right. Yeah.
She did though ultimately give up the office. So.
No. Yeah. They took it from her. She didn't give it up.
They took it from her.
Yeah.
She was forced to give it up, and that was because you broke that story, didn't you, my friend?
I believe I did. Thank you.
I think you did, and I thought that was very outstanding of you. Now, what about Merrimack College? The Merrimack campus of the St. Louis Community Colleges.
That sounds like another cluster, doesn't it?
Well, it seemed from the beginning that it was not. I mean, it looked. I thought obviously right then like a misstep, like a series of missteps. It wasn't any single person, but everybody, it looks like, who was involved kind of tried to cover it up and pretend it would just go away. And I'm glad for Beth. What's her name? Blythe Groupie. The young lady who was the one who was assaulted in the bathroom, who just refused to let it go away.
Right.
Otherwise, this would have been totally swept under the rug.
I also love how they acted differently once the news media was involved.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's just so sad.
It's terrible. I mean, if the protection of your students isn't as important as the PR, you got a problem.
Yeah, no.
And they clearly put PR ahead of, protecting student safety, and that's just heinous. Okay, last topic I want to bring up with you because I know you're going to give me the fast shuffle.
Hold on a second. You can tell us the third topic you want to talk about, or we can save time for Christine Byers, one of your colleagues.
Oh, is she coming on?
She's coming on next, yes.
Well, quick third topic.
All right, quickly.
The plastic containers that
yes.
people are going to have to bring into the Rams games.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really a bad thing?
I don't know. Are you going to leave your purse into the car?
If I were to ever go to a Rams game, I'm not a fan of not just the Rams. I'm just not a football fan, but. Who cares? What is it you need to bring in there that you can't put in?
Well, you're sounding like a guy, but women bring their bags everywhere.
But so what? You can bring a little clutch purse if you have anything you have to keep private. I mean, really, I think it's ridiculous. Is this to keep out booze, or is it to keep out? What are they trying to keep out?
It's to keep out the riffraff. It's to keep out the bombs. All right, I got to go. I don't want Christine Byers yelling at me. I would much rather have you yell at me than Christine.
Waiting for me somewhere.
I would much rather have you yell at me than have her yell at me.
She's a sweetheart. Have a good time.
Deb Peterson, ladies and gentlemen, sits in the editorial board. What's the website?
STLtoday.com/the-platform.
Have a good weekend. Happy birthday. I wanted to say it on the air. That's what I was saving it for. 8:48 here, Big 550.